first I want to thank all the people from Orange Nation that came out to support, to watch us compete in this game and compete in this tournament, which is one of the premier tournament in the country for us. I thought we had 3 great opportunities out here. We came up short, which is very disappointing, but we learned a lot about our team. And, this second half of today's game is not who we are. We didn't fight. We fought every half up until this last half of this game today. And those are the things that, we continually need to work on and to be able to fight, and for the most part, these guys fought, we fought, for, the 2 games and a 20-minute half today. But make no mistake about it, we will learn a lot from this. We will get better. We will continue to push. And what I'm asking my guys to do is very hard. It's very taxing. And we will continue to get better at it. A level 5 fight and energy and connection is not easy. It's not easy, right? And we will continue to improve on that and get better with that. So I was happy to see the level of fight. Just the last 20 minutes is not who we are, and it's not going, like I told our players, we understand it, we face it, we do it together, and we'll grow from this. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Adrian, in the second half, what happened to that fight? Was it exhaustion with 3 games in 3 days, or playing in a 10 a.m. game, or was it just being worn down by playing Houston, Kansas, and then Iowa State 3 in a row?
I mean, I'm not a guy that's making excuses. We take accountability. I take accountability as a leader of this program. I just thought, we just didn't fight. We just didn't fight. I thought we let some missed opportunities offensively kind of, impact our fight on the other end, and we can't do that, and so we got to continue to work on that, and that's how I see it. Sure, everyone else played 3 games, everyone else did that as well. So we got to do a better job. Myself, I got to do a better job. Coaching staff got to do a better job. Our players got to do a better job of leaning into that fight.
Adrian, how concerned are you about sort of initiating your offense? These teams have been pushing your point guard out, have been doubling him a little bit, and you've had some trouble getting into your offense, and that has led to some runouts. I mean, how concerned are you about that, and what do you think you can do to sort of mitigate that?
Well, one, we can't turn the ball over. Our players are better than that, and when we get the ball to certain spots, when you play against aggressive teams, you got to make them pay, and make better decisions. And I don't think we did that well. This game. That same pressure that was today was the same pressure we faced Monday. Monday and Tuesday, and we handled it better. So we have to, that's on us. We got to handle it better. We got to get the ball to the right spots, and we know where to get those spots, the ball to in those spots, and we got to make the better decisions, and we will. Going forward, we will, and keep improving.
Coach, you talk a lot about the Orange Standard. How do you get your program back towards that?
That's something that we do every day. It's not a word. It's what we do, and even when it, you asking that question now because it's something based on results, right? We'll get the results, but that's not the focus. The standard is being accountable, relentless determination, grit, and that's what we categorize as level 5 effort every day. And again, we're in the process of continually getting consistent with that.
Coach, I know you talk about no moral victories all the time, but it's not crazy to say that you guys might have gotten the most difficult draw out of any team in this tournament. I mean, what went through you and your coaching staff's mind, and even the players last night, when you get told you're facing Iowa State, which is a top 15 team, top 10 in Ken Palm, all that kind of stuff?
We're excited, to be honest with you. Like, that's what you want. You gotta play these games. That's why we're out here. Think about it. We walked away with 3 quad one opportunities, and you got to have those. And we're very disappointed that we couldn't get the results that we wanted. But in today's game, in your non-conference, you got to put yourself in position. You do. And, so we're excited. We're excited to have those opportunities, to be honest with you.
Back-to-back games for Nate George now with 5 points as a season low. He had 7 turnovers today as well. What made it so difficult for him today?
I think, as a point guard, and I was a point guard myself, when you start, in a new program, you're taking time and you're a leader of those guys on the court. You still take some time to figure out, new system, new players, things like that. And we've asked him to really focus in on both sides of the ball, and he's done a tremendous job of that. So I think some adjusting does need to take place for him. But I don't worry about Nate. He's a resilient kid. He's a hard worker. He'll get it turned around. We believe in him. We believe in all of our players, and he'll get it turned around.
Coach, you said that you learned a lot about this team. What exactly did you learn about this team these past 3 days?
I think if you watch these last 2 games, and even the first half of today, when we fight and when we have that level of fight and when we're connected, we can play with anybody in the country. And that's now, right? But we're fighting to be able to beat anyone in the country as well. And I think we showed that at times. I think we showed that, that this team, if we stay connected and we play our brand of basketball, with that group of men in there, we'll have a chance to beat anybody.
Coach, you mentioned yesterday how games like these, they could serve as like a bellwether for where your team is at this point in the year. What are the things that you and your staff are going to go back to the board on in terms of what has to improve for you, as you said, to, make sure that those Q1 opportunities become Q1 wins?
Like I said before, it's about us, our level, a consistency of our level and our mindset. I think that's what really needs to take place. Again, we've had, we got to try to minimize our dips and continue to push forward and really, we play 8, 9 guys. Everyone collectively. When we do have those dips, someone picking someone else up. And that's what we got to continue to get better at and continue to work on.
Adrian, yesterday the Players Era CEO said there are more than 20 programs that have already signed up to play in next year's event. Is Syracuse one of those teams?
I haven't had that discussion yet or know anything about that.
And sort of similar lines, I'm curious about what your thoughts were overall about the tournament. Like, would you prefer it be organized differently? Like, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
Well, I love the opportunities that we got for this tournament. I think it's a tremendous field, a tremendous tournament. I think everyone gets an early test to be a part of these games, to play high level competition. So, it was the opportunities were there. I love the fact that you get a chance to have these opportunities, early on in the season, and use it as a barometer of, what you need to do, what you need to work on, and what you need to get better at. Being in Vegas is not bad either.
Coach, just wanted to check in, see how Donnie's doing, and if there's any update on, anything with him.
Yeah, no updates yet. We'll, when we get back, we'll get back and we'll see where he's at. Again, there's no really timetable. We'll kind of just keep checking in and seeing where he's at. But again, I don't expect him to be out that long. Very hopeful that he won't be out that long. Thank you.